to Industry Talks, a podcast where we highlight the professionals inside of the industry club for BGCSM. Today we are focusing on the Fashion Industry Club, and I am here with the amazing, incomparable fashion designer coming straight out of the east side of Detroit, Jay Alexander. How are you doing today, man?
What's going on? I'm feeling good. I'm here with you. I'm feeling good. I'm glad to be here.
Great, great, great. So, like I stated earlier, this is Industry Talks. This is a podcast where we get to look at the professional intake of one of the many industry clubs that we do. So, are you excited to talk to me today?
I'm excited. Let's do it.
Let's go. So, we wanted to get into some of your personal life. So, tell us about yourself. What's your background? What was your childhood? What was your childhood like? Like, tell me all about you.
Background. I'm from the east side of Detroit. Born and raised. Always wanted to travel and do other stuff. Always been like I would say, I guess you could say like a little nerd in school. I guess I evolved, but I mean it's just being smart, basically. But that's what people that's not smart call people that's smart nerds. But I love basketball. I play instruments here and there. I like to cook. I also worked at the Detroit Yacht Club. I had culinary arts in school, so I like that. Everybody likes to eat. Movies. When I used to get in trouble, I used to have to go upstairs, just like Home Alone by myself, and I just watch movies all the time. So my imagination was always wandering. I never been a loner. I guess I like being around people. When I'm by myself, I come up with good ideas, I guess. But normally I like being around people. I'm fun. I'm spontaneous. I went overseas by myself for a month. I did it twice actually. So I don't know. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm fun. I'm excited.
That's good. Tell us about your favorite childhood memory. If you could pick one childhood memory that you have, what would it be?
It's so many, but I give y'all a personal favorite one that you wouldn't know unless you was in my family. So when I was real little, right? My grandma had made this pie, and I love sweets. You know, as a kid, you love sweets. My grandma had made a pie, and it was me, her, my granddad, my older brother, and my older cousin. Now I'm 4 years younger than my older brother, and like 7, 8 years younger than my older cousin. So I was like 6. So my hands and how their hands look was completely different. So one morning, my grandma would go in the kitchen and she started laughing like, "Who put their fingers in this pie?" And it was me, and I had wiped my fingers on the seat, and I had blamed it on my cousins. But the fingerprint so little in the pie, it's nobody's hands but mine. So I don't know. I guess that was my favorite because they still talk about that to this day.
Wow, wow. So, as we all can see here, you have a company called Private Life Global. Tell us the backstory of Private Life Global and how you created this brand to what it is now today.
Private Life Global, it really started back in 2011. That letter you got right there. When I was in high school, I was offered to go to France, Switzerland, and Austria, just those 3 countries. But my grandparents was like, they worked at General Motors, the big 3, so they never traveled outside the country. They never even been to Canada, to be honest. Anywhere we traveled was always been within the States. So when I got that letter, it was a surprise. But, I kind of, figure I worked for it. I did good in school, played basketball, and I always tell my other classmates, like, I finish my work and I go help other people finish. So when I got that letter, I wasn't surprised. I was actually happy, but when I couldn't go, I was sad. I was tormented. But I kept it with me. I kept the letter with me. I didn't rip it up a tear. I got eliminated. And eventually I ended up going to those countries and some. So that's how the brand started. I told a few of my friends, like, hey, we'll go overseas, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then we planned it for the next summer. So when that time came around, I guess they wasn't serious about going, but I had already paid, and I couldn't get my money back. So I had to go. But the company is called Top Deck. It was a cool company. You get to go on Facebook and meet all the peers and everybody else you're going to be on the tour with. So that made it easier, to break the ice. So when we got there, I already felt like we knew the people. So that was fun. I never thought that I would go on a tour like that, let alone by myself, because I was 21 at the time, I think. So leaving out the country, and then I thought everything was good, but the currency exchange is crazy. So when I got over there, I thought I was doing something, but I spent all my savings, all my money. I was 21 years old. So I paid for the tour, paid for my round trip, but my pocket money was finished. So I was calling my grandparents like every other day, I think, to send me money because it was so expensive. But I was over there for like 31 days, like a whole month, the whole month of August that I went, and it was I think it was the best experience. So for everybody watching this, or whatever it is, traveling is the best thing. I wouldn't recommend you go by yourself, of course not, but go with friends if you can or family. But traveling and getting outside of your comfort zone is the best thing. There's no reason to be afraid because you don't know what's on the other side of that door. You know, like you can be like, oh, I'm afraid, I don't want to do it. It's outside my comfort zone. But just that one step can change your life forever, and that's what it did for me. So hopefully, I make stuff that the city like, that Detroit can be proud of, because I rep the city everywhere I go, no matter where I'm at. Over there, overseas, they don't know about Detroit, but in the states, wherever I go, and I take my clothing brand, I make sure I tell them I'm from Detroit. I don't say East or West because I rep the whole Detroit, but
Yeah.
hopefully, I have something that the city could be proud of.
Well, I can say, speaking for myself and for the crew, we are most definitely proud of this. Like earlier, we were setting up. Me and some of the other crew members were like, "Oh yeah, we gonna take some of this. We most definitely gonna take some of this." But I want to focus a little bit more on the company. So you have this slogan on some of your pieces saying, "I went broke overseas." Please tell me where you got that from, because that is honestly a very interesting slogan to have for a company that talks about, traveling the world. So explain that to me a little bit more.
Okay, so with that slogan, a lot of people, I wouldn't say a lot, but certain ones in my family, like your family can have the biggest expression on you, what I'm saying, the biggest impact. So either them saying something that looks good or sounds good or something bad. So they like the private life part, but the I went broke overseas, like, oh, I wasn't broke. But like you said, like when you see it and you read it, I'm broke overseas, you want to know the backstory of it, and that's the biggest part that I hold so dear to me because it's a true story. You can come up with a brand like Foundation or whatever you can make, green blue, you can call it brand, but actually having a clothing brand and actually having a slogan that really connect with your real life, I feel like is the best thing. Like I don't really feel like nobody would dislike the brand simply because when they see it, like you said, oh, I went broke overseas, what's that about? Or some people say, I know what that's like because it's expensive to go over there. I want you to see it and say, I went broke overseas, what's that? And want to know the backstory. So when you get a chance to, like that letter, you see the backstory, you're like, wow, this is a real life story. I put my real life brand on the actual clothing. I wish I had my hoodie, but I don't have it. But I will have it next time. On the back of my hoodies, I put the actual map of Europe.
Wow.
And the days that I've been there and stuff, and you actually can see it. So hopefully next time I have that for you guys to see it. But yeah, that's how it started for me, going overseas and just living real life. And it's a real life experience with this brand. It's not made up.
That is dope. So I have another question. So let's focus more on your insight as someone who's in the fashion industry. So we have like a lot of different fashion trends, and people wear this, people wear that. What are some pros and cons of different fashion trends? So let's say, for example, what are some fashion trends that you think should keep going, and then what's some fashion trends that you think should stop?
I say one fashion trend I think should stop is the white chalk that they do in the lineup. Like it's cool, because like it look fresh. Like, oh, I just got a lineup. That's cool, but personally, I don't know. I don't really think that's cool. And then another thing, I would say like, wearing slim jeans is cool, but like super tight skinny jeans, like skin tight, I don't know. I'm not wearing nothing that to where I can't feel comfortable. I don't know. It's a lot of different trends out there. I mean, you have it now to where I don't know, like the age group, like the older ones, they dress and it's like barely wearing anything, and I guess you can call that fashion, but you can just cause you got a nice body. I mean, you have to have everything shown. Like you can still be completely covered up and look good and get attention. So never think that you have to have your body revealing as a young man or a young woman to be seen, because you can be fully dressed and still get attention.
Let's focus on that, because I'm so glad you said that. I know for me personally, our generation, we struggle a lot with trying to fit in and trying to feel like we have to wear certain clothes to be in certain friend groups. So what advice would you give to someone who has always been feeling like, oh, I gotta wear this to be cute, or I gotta wear this to get that girl, or I gotta wear this to get that guy. Like,
Right.
what's some self-esteem and is using the pathway of fashion to help them build up their self-esteem?
I would say just be yourself and be original. Like if I was trying to fit in, I wouldn't have thought of my own brand. I would have thought of something similar with other brands. Like we here in Detroit, it's a lot of brands here. We get a lot of feedback or we feedback off each other like Detroit and Atlanta brands and stuff like that. So me coming up with Private Life, I would never did that if I wasn't being myself, being original. Just trying to find your true purpose. So wear what you want to like, wear what you like. So you don't have to wear what everybody else wear. Like when I was in school, probably still now. I think I was like 11th or 12th grade. I looked down one day in English class and every guy had on Timberland boots. And I'm like, dang. And I was the only one wearing Space Jam. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes stand out on purpose. Somebody might say something, but if anything, if you stand out from the crowd, you're like a sore thumb, so everybody's gonna see you. So you got the attention already. So it don't matter what they say. They can be like, oh, you're not with us, or you are. Either way it go, you cool because you're your own person. So by you being original and being yourself, nobody can ever say that's lame because you being yourself. So that's the realest thing you can do.
Facts. So I remember you telling us in the beginning that you had a pretty cool childhood.
Mhm.
Has your childhood given you inspiration for your brand, and if so, how did it do that?
Definitely. I'm pretty sure anybody watching this, being from Detroit, whether you east or west or wherever you're from, you under 8 Mile. You're on the other side of 8 Mile.
Right.
It's hard. It's tough. So when I did get that, and I wanted to go to college. I don't have a college background. I wanted to, go overseas. I wanted to play basketball and get a degree. I wanted to go to school for mobile software engineering and mobile software engineering, computer software engineering. Those are two things that I wanted to do. And going overseas, and I was gonna get a full ride, and that's what I was gonna try to do. That's what I wanted for myself. But that didn't happen. So imagine going overseas and seeing all this stuff, and then coming back to the city. The city, like on the east side, from where I'm from, it's not the cleanest. It's not the best. You have blocks of grass, just abandoned areas. That's just impoverished. That's no buildings around, no fashion. So how do you get inspiration? You have to inspire yourself. So with that being said, from my childhood and seeing what was going on around me, I knew I wanted something different. I didn't want to become what's in my area. A product of my environment. I want to be different. So I worked really hard. I worked 2 jobs. I'm not telling everybody to do that because it's tough to work 2 jobs. But doing that and traveling is a good thing. So yeah, my childhood, my upbringing, where I came from, it made me a hard worker, to be honest. Like it's never not a moment I'm not thinking about the brand. Like I told you earlier, 85% of my earnings that I get from myself that I make, it goes here. So majority of the time I'm broke unless I'm selling something.
That's good. That's really good. Did you have any occupations outside of well, let's get into this. Did you have any occupations before you started the brand, and then are you doing anything currently right now while you have Private Life Global?
Yep. So before the brand, I did a lot of different things. I worked at Chase Bank. You could call me an African or Jamaican, wherever they call me. I'm a Hebrew slave. I worked at Chase Bank. I worked at the Detroit Yacht Club. I worked at McDonald's. I worked at Ponderosa, 8 Mile and Girls Bank when it used to be up. I cut grass. I did a lot of different stuff. So I always worked Home Depot. I was a hollow driver in lumber. So it's a lot of stuff I did. Now, my other business I have is called Payment Perfection. That's been on Metro Detroit News, and I promoted it. I started doing it full time when COVID came. When COVID came, I was working at Amazon and a small little factory, and I lost both my jobs. And on top of that, my grandma was already sick, so she had passed that same morning, right before I got laid off from both my jobs.
Y'all heard him here, folks. He is just a working man. He worked at Home Depot. He worked at Chase, and then he has his own company. Wow, is a painter. So we are at the final question, and I hate that we're wrapping up so soon because I am just enjoying talking to you. But we, as you know, we have 2 fashion programs here at BGCSM.
Mm-hmm.
If you were sitting in front of them right now, how you're sitting in front of us, what advice would you give the fashion interns that will probably watch this after all of this is said and done?
I would tell them to work hard as you can. Write down all your ideas because they're gonna pop up. So as soon as you think of an idea, don't say I'm gonna write it down later. No, write it down right now. Like if you gonna write it down, text it in your phone. I would say you can take opinions from others because before I make a big decision, like I would ask, a few peers, and then I'll collectively come up with an idea because two brains is better than one. But you can take ideas and opinions from people, but always stick with your gut. Like what you really want to do, like you can listen to, but what you really want to do it. Don't let nobody change your mind. If they say, "Oh, that's a bad idea," or "You should take the I went broke off," or whatever. Like, just stick with your gut. Stick with your gut. And if the people telling you that they like your stuff, then that's what you do.
So unfortunately, we have to close out, but I do want to get some feedback from you. So as you know, we have two industry clubs that focus on fashion. So if you were sitting in front of the class, how you're sitting in front of us right now, what is some advice that you would give our fashion interns?
I would tell them to stick with their gut and work real hard. You can take opinions from friends. Like, hey, what this idea sound like, or what this look like, or what you think about this. They may add something to it, and it may be better, or they may say, oh, I don't know. But I would say stick with your gut. So whatever you feel that's good, and the people like it, and they're not telling you to change anything, then don't.
That's great. That's great. Well, thank you so much for being here on Industry Talks today. Tell everybody where they can get connected to you, where they can follow you on any social media, so we can keep following you and the amazing work that you're doing.
Instagram is J Alexander. The threes are E's. My company with the clothing brand is PrivateLife.global. You can catch us at 17388 Livernois on Detroit's west side in the fashion district for our women's clothes, and for our men's clothes, it's a location coming soon. I don't want to tell y'all yet, but you will see it when it comes.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching Industry Talks. Can't wait to see you guys next time. Peace!